In this video, we're going to talk about whether an abundance mindset is nonsense or totally legit. Hey everyone, it's Rich Cardona. Welcome back to the channel. So I've been having so many conversations with successful entrepreneurs and just people who are just in a better place in their lives. And, you know, when I wasn't in a good place in my life at the beginning of entrepreneurship, and it was just crazy. I mean, it's always going to be crazy. So many people would talk to me about a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, or abundance mindset, or, you know, whether you have a scarcity mindset. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, I just don't want to hear it. We believe what we believe. You don't need to shift your thinking. You don't need to dig your heels in and be like, I'm committing to this. And you don't need to look at yourself as a normal person who believes certain things are the way they are, and categorize yourself as a scarcity mindset, or someone who has a fixed mindset, as if the world is the way it is. During the course of this journey, I will say I've had some mini revelations, or mini epiphanies, if you want to call them. And let's just start here. I typed in abundance mindset. I'm going to read it to you. An abundance mindset is the idea or worldview that there are enough resources and successes for all to share. That is bullshit, in my opinion. But this is what I kept hearing over and over that I was just like so not about. Here's 10 ways you can adopt your abundance mindset. Recognize the power of your thoughts. Okay, maybe. Practice gratitude. Believe the sky is the limit. Cultivate and share your passions and purpose. Pick your words wisely. Build beyond a growth mindset. Think like a beginner. Develop mastery experiences, etc., etc., etc. I am not the type of person, and maybe you aren't either, to just digest these really woo-woo notions and thinking, and I'm gonna sit in a corner and just will myself to become a millionaire or anything like that. However, big however, you might be in a scarcity mindset if you're watching this, because I'm making this channel because I came from a scarcity mindset. And I believe I have crawled out of that hole. And I'm not going to say I'm fully into an abundance mindset, but let me give you some examples. Part of my scarcity mindset was that, especially when I was a pilot in the Marine Corps, was that I could never get to this echelon or skill set of pilot because all these people were dedicated. Some of these people were single, or some of these people just grew up thinking about flying and aviation when I didn't. I literally limited what was potentially could happen by talking myself out of it, simply by imagining a future that didn't include it. Does that make sense? I literally would forecast exactly how it would go down, where the fall-offs would be, instead of taking the very next immediate action step to get closer to that goal. Okay, what we do is, and this is a failure on many of our parts, and certainly an indicator of a fixed or scarcity mindset, is that you predict the future. You already see, like, here's where it's going to go wrong, or so-and-so is going to say this, or I could get to this point, but then there's just going to be this wall, and that's a wall I'll just never be able to penetrate, or I'll never be able to go over, or I'll never be able to go around. Okay, that's absolutely an indicator. Now look, if you've seen any of my other videos, I'm divorced. I've been divorced, and I've been divorced twice. And when I think about it, and when you think about maybe a relationship that you're in, you may say to yourself, not just like, I don't know if I want to be this person, but you might say to yourself, like, I might not be able to get anything better than this. And look, like, no judgment here. Maybe you're like, well, this person and I make good money, and that's important to me for my lifestyle. Okay, that's ultimately going to bite you in the ass, by the way. Or I want to be with someone who's attractive, or this person finds me attractive. You know, whatever it is, you may think to yourself like two things. One, you might not be able to get better than that, which is absolute bullshit. And two, you might think that you might not change, that you never know the type of person that you could be with. You might think you don't want to be with someone who's an introvert. You might think you don't want to be with someone who's funny. You might think you don't want to be someone who is a tennis player. I don't know, but you don't either. That is a scarcity mindset. Okay, you are limiting the capacity of human relationships, or the type of human relationship you could have. There's 7 freaking billion people on the planet. Okay, like, the stars can align for you. And because I initially had the scarcity mindset, I changed when I met my now wife. And I'm like obsessed with her. I love her so much. And like, the minute I met her, my life was like upside down. And I had to make a really big decision, like, keep going in the direction I'm going, or end what I have going on and take a leap of faith with her. And thank God I did. Okay, so is an abundance mindset bullshit? Did I will that to happen? No. But that was a signal to me. That was a signal to me that just kind of like hit me right in the face. That was like, hey dude, there's more. That's what I want to get across to you. And I want you to just say this to yourself in your head. There's more. There's always more. You can talk about health, wealth, and relationships, right? Health in terms of how you look, your ability to exercise, your ability to look good and feel strong, or not have junk food on the weekends, or whatever it is. But related to your health, there's always more. So relationships, okay, there's always more. There's always more that you can do. I would argue that many of us are in situations where you're like, there's not much more I can do. There is probably more you can do, but you also know at the same point that you might be in a relationship that you need to leave, okay? And what's not allowing you to leave is that scarcity mindset. Maybe you have kids and you're like, there's no way I'm going to be in a co-parenting situation. There's no way I'm going to do this kind of custody thing, or there's no way I'm going to lose that retirement, or there's no way we're going to split this. All these things are scarcity mindset. For whatever reason, you don't think that you're going to be able to achieve this on your own. You don't believe that you're going to be able to make enough money. You don't believe you're going to be a good single parent. You don't believe that you're going to find someone better. I'm now completely convinced it's just complete nonsense and bullshit. So getting back to wealth, this is where an abundance mindset or a money mindset is in fact something that can be worked on intensely and dramatically, and it could change your life. I literally was having a conversation with someone just the other day who told me they went to a chiropractor who was doing some sort of energy test on them. The chiropractor gave them instructions, then they adjusted them, and they're like, okay, stay in this position until you let go of that. And this was specifically a money mindset related issue in terms of value. This person's a business owner. Well, lo and behold, and I'm talking to this person, they're like, yeah, I thought it was total nonsense. The chiropractor said, once you switch mindsets, open your eyes or whatever. So that was hilarious to me. I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Well, this person said everything has changed for him since then. Maybe the chiropractor did something, maybe it didn't, but that's true. And I've interviewed hundreds of people because I have a podcast, Leadership Locker, that was prior to this. And I interviewed all kinds of entrepreneurs, and all of them would say to themselves, there's more. I could charge more. There's no reason I can't be a millionaire. There's no reason I can't make 100 million. There's no reason I can't have that yacht. There's no reason I can't have that car. There's no reason I can't have this house. There's no reason I can't have that woman. It's unbelievable. And all of them were at a point once where they just didn't necessarily believe that was possible. They started incorporating mindset exercises, visualization, goal setting, networking, all these different things that they're just like, I'm going to use all the tools available to me and prove that this can happen. And I'm telling you, these people would tell me, they would say right to my face, either during an interview or after an interview, they're like, you're scared of money. And I'm like, what? So clearly, that's a recurring pattern, okay? And you know how I could prove to you I was scared of money? Because I'm the dude who would be talking to a prospect forever. And then if at the end of the conversation, I wanted to close them so bad that I would at some point be like, we could do it for 5,000 instead of 6, or 5,000 instead of 7,000, or whatever it is that we were offering. Why? Why would I do that? Because I didn't value myself. I didn't believe there was more. I was telling them, I was sending a signal to them that I'm not even confident that I'm worth this much. So I'm going to just hook you up because I'm desperate. And desperation is a cologne that everyone can smell. The reason it is complete proof, what I just told you, that that's a scarcity mindset, is because an abundance mindset would be like, peace, dude. Oh, cool. Yeah, you can't afford 7. See you later. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't matter. There's more people. I acted like that one person or that client or that business was like the end all be all. And there are going to be times when you are an entrepreneur, when you get there, that you are just irrationally thinking that for some reason, if you don't land this person or this contract, that the world's going to fall apart. I get when you need money and you can do some low-hanging fruit type shit, but the reason we devalue ourselves is because we are just not entirely sure or confident that we're going to have that opportunity again. And that is where an abundance mindset comes in. I just literally had a prospect who I probably helped in so many different capacities within the 40 minutes of our call, who eventually came back and said, no, we're going to do something for cheap. I almost talked myself into this place where I was just like, oh, I guess I didn't paint enough value. And then I was just like, not true. Not true. And then just move on. As a matter of fact, I have a clip of when I interviewed Gary Vee and what he told me, because I normally would be like, sucks for them, but that was actually just my own insecurity. I'll play that clip right here. These people, fundamentally, I'm not like, I hope they get in a wreck tonight. It's not like that. It's just like, your business could use me, sucks for you.
Yeah, but that's where you're getting selfish.
Okay.
I'm also not selfish. Even when I needed business, I didn't have that thirsty gene of knowing it. Even in the way you delivered that, that's out of you needing it. You see where I'm going?
I do.
take away that piece and saying, okay, this is a game of just asking more people. Every second I spend mentally, even thinking about why Karen's an idiot for not going with me, is a second I take away from pitching Rick to go with me.
So look, let's wrap up here. An abundance mindset, from what I have seen, is absolutely possible. You can and will cultivate more of what you want if you actually think about it and take steps towards that. One of the keys here, I'm telling you right now, one of the keys is that you need to surround yourself with people who have an abundance mindset as well. People who are always going for it. People who do not settle. If you are a woman right now who hates your husband and you want out of this relationship, and you've actually been able to stomach the fact that you could have joint custody and all these other things, and your friends are telling you, are you sure you want to do this? You know, what about this? Like, think about Christmases and how awkward they would be. Fuck them. You cannot listen to them, because they are probably equally unhappy or have had semblances or fantasized about walking away from that relationship. But because they have a scarcity mindset, they cannot fathom that you would actually take the next step, because that's bold, because that's courageous, because that's real, and because they want to be able to do that. They want to have the opportunity to do that, but they won't allow themselves to think like that. You cannot have that in your life, whether it's your relationship or whether you're going to start this business and people shit on you for thinking about starting your own knitting business or your own personal training, coaching, or whatever it is. You cannot listen to the people who are not going to support you, because they actually are the ones with a scarcity mindset, and it's like cancer. Okay, it spreads. So like, you guys, all misery loves company, and those people do not want to see someone succeed. They do not want to see someone like you succeed, because what's it going to say about them if you're able to do it and they don't? Instead, why don't you be the example? And if you do that, you're going to attract more people with an abundance mindset. You will attract people who are like, no. Like, I'm not fixed. I'm not like backed into this corner. There's always more. There's always more. I really, really want you to just tell yourself there's always more. Here is a disclaimer to focusing and having an abundance mindset. You're gonna have to work with what you have. You're not all of a sudden just gonna have all these tools sprinkling out of the sky that's just gonna allow you to accelerate all these things. You have to use what you have. You're gonna have to use the resources you have, the finances you already have, and the mindset that you already have, the skills and experiences that you already have. Nothing is gonna happen overnight. An abundance mindset, in my opinion, from what I've seen, all these people who've just kind of toiled the land to make sure that they would eventually get somewhere, it always just takes longer than you think. Is an abundance mindset nonsense? The answer is freaking no. Do you hear the disappointment in me admitting that? Like, I can be and have been a cynic, but I've seen the light. I just refuse to just compromise. I refuse to settle. I've told some friends, like, dude, if anything ever happens to me early, just make sure it says on my tombstone, like, never settled. And you know, like, it didn't matter, like, whether it came to my relationships, whether it came to my business, whether it came into being in a freaking job or traditional work environment that I didn't want to be in, and never settled. I did exactly what I wanted to do to make myself the best person possible. And when I make myself the best person possible, I'm going to attract people who are the same, and we are going to flourish together. You can't do everything you want ever, but you could always work towards more. Please let me know in the comments below, like, have you experienced a scarcity mindset, or have you experienced a transition, a transformation, because you adopted a growth mindset or an abundance mindset? See you next time.